Bankers has included on to all of their bot policies a commercial program for data breach. This is a very important program for a small and medium company. There's nothing in the laws that say a company cannot have a data breach, but there are numerous regulations and laws, and in certain cases where you have industries that have additional responsibilities, such as medical offices, for example, there are many requirements that a company has to meet in the event that they have had a security breach or a loss of critical information and personal information for their consumers. This program is a very effective, very comprehensive program for a small and medium business, and it takes a two-pronged approach. The first approach is, how do we train in the appropriate way to manage data and store data, and at the end of the day, how do we dispose of data properly? And then the second piece is what happens in the event that you have a breach. In the training element, there is a cloud-based program that a company can have all of its staff go through that talks about what is private information, what is personal information that needs to be protected. It talks about what are things that you should consider around your facility, and what should you consider around your employees, who should touch data, for example. How do you properly protect and store data? How do you move data from point A to point B? And then how do you dispose of that data? And it is a process where someone can actually go through this program either on their mobile phone, they can go through it on their laptop computer, it can be done in their own time. And then we have the component that deals with what happens when you have a breach. The first thing that we have to look at is making sure that the company stays in compliance with all of the regulations and the laws about making appropriate notification. And we will help that company write the notification letter. Very often you will see a notification letter come out to a consumer that is very off-putting to the consumer, because it gives the idea that the company has protected itself but has maybe left the consumer on their own. And perhaps they will say, you know, here's a list of phone numbers that you should call, and we suggest that you get a credit monitoring program, and basically it's saying to them, good luck. What ends up happening in that situation is they end up losing the faith of the consumer, and at the end of the day, they lose customers, which is never good for any business. So this works with the company to draft a letter that lets the consumer know that the company does care, that they've remediated the problem, and that they are going to take care of the consumer in the event that there's any fraud. This program allows the consumer to call in to a group that is very well versed in dealing with data breaches. We can answer any questions about the breach. We use a script that has been designed with the company so that we're all on the same page and we're putting out the same message. We can work with the company from a PR aspect. If they are getting inquiries from the media, we can work with the media. We work with law enforcement. It's a way to keep the company in compliance, make sure that customer faith is kept at a level where it should be, and to make sure that the business doesn't suffer harm at the end of the day. It also includes a component for officers, directors, and employees, which helps them address any personal issues related to their identity and managing their identity.